Welcome back. Did I start? Yeah. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be learning about solving equations. So in maths, there's always a way to go backwards. So if you plus 1, you can then take away 1 to end up back where you started. If you take 1 step to the right, you can take 1 step to the left and end up back where you started. And if I touch my head, then my shoulders, then my waist, to go backwards, I would touch my waist, then my shoulders, then my head. So let's have a look at this equation behind me and have a think about how we would normally solve it. So here we have 3, and in brackets we have 2x plus 1. So if we were to solve this normally, we would follow BIDMAS. So we would look in the brackets. Then we would do our multiply. Then we would do our addition. And then we would look at what's outside the brackets. So this here, just to remind you, has a little multiply sign there. And this here is multiplied as well. So the first thing we do is we would have x, and then we would times by 2. And the second thing we would do is we would add 1. And then finally, we would multiply. And that would give us 15, because the answer is 15. As I said before, there's a way forward, there's always a way back. We have 2, 1, and times by 3. Starting over here. If I times by 3 to get over there, what's the opposite of timesing by 3? It'd be dividing by 3. So we're going to divide by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now what do we do? Well, the next step backwards. So we plus 1, so we're going to minus 1. And 5 take away 1 is 4. And here we have times by 2. So the opposite of timesing by 2 is dividing by 2. So we're going to now divide by 2. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. Turns out x is equal to 2. So that's how we would find what x is. So how would you express this in a more mathematical way? So let's have a look at an example where we're going to use BIDMAS, but we're going to be cancelling out our terms. So let's have a look at a few examples with some fractions. Now remember, a fraction is just a divide. So let's look at this question over here. We have negative y divided by 3 plus 2. So normally, what would you do first? You'd divide by 3, then you would add 2. So let's make a quick note of that. So we would divide by 3, and then we would plus 2. So remember that order. Now we are going to rewrite this and cancel out some terms. First, the last thing we would do is we would plus 2. So we're going to take away 2 to go backwards. So we have minus y divided by 3 plus 2, and now we are going to minus 2. We're going to take away 2, and over here we have 5 and we are also going to take away 2 from this side. What we do to one side, we do to the other. We always want it to be balanced. So these 2 are going to go away because they become 0, and 5 take away 2, 3. So we end up with negative y divided by 3 equal 3. Make sure you do all your working out so that we can see where your mistakes are, if there is any, but you also get marks for your working out. It's not just marks for the answer. If this was a 3-mark question, you would probably get 2 marks for your working out and 1 mark for your answer. So make sure you show all your working out. You're going to need a bit more space. So we have y divided by 3, negative y divided by 3, equals 3. So over there, we have the divide by 3. So what's the opposite of dividing by 3? We're going times by 3. So we end up with, let's go back over here, negative y divided by 3, then we're going to times by 3. So my 3's will go away. And this equals 3 times 3. Because what we do to one side, we do to the other. So these 3's are going to cancel. They're going to become 1. We don't want it to become 0, because then we'd have nothing. So we have minus y left over. That equals 9. Now this is a negative y. That's a little bit hard to think about. So if there's a negative on one side, and there's a positive on the other side, we can just divide this side by negative 1, and that will cancel out my minus, and we would divide this side by negative 1, and we would end up with a negative 9. So this just equals y equals 9. There's a few steps there, but it all comes back to me just writing down a list of things that we do in our equation, and then me going back up. Let's have a look at this example behind me. This is a long one. So we have minus 3t plus 6 divided by 2. So if you were working out this equation normally, what would you do first? Well, you would do the times. So we would times by negative 3 first. Then what would you do? Remember, with fractions, we work out the top, then the bottom, and we try to squish it together. So we have plus 6, because that's on the top. And then finally, you would try to squish the top and the bottom together, and you would end up with dividing by 2. So this here is a 3-step problem. So let's go backwards. Instead of dividing by 2, we're going to times by 2. Instead of adding 6, we're going to take away 6. Instead of timesing by negative 3, we're going to be dividing by negative 3. So I just wrote down the left side of my equation. We're going to times it by 2. And what we do to this side, we do to this side. So this is equal to 5 times 2. So this 2 is going to cancel with this 2, and we're going to get rid of it. We have negative 3t plus 6 equal to 5 times 2 is 10. Let's do the next bit up here. So we have 3t plus 6. Plus 6 was my second thing, but we're going back up again. So we're going to take away 6, because that's what we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to get rid of that 6. So we have 3t plus 6 minus 6 is equal to 10 minus 6. running out of space. This 6 and this 6 will go away. So 6 take away 6 is 0. And then 10 take away 6 is 4. So we have 3t. Oops. Don't forget your negatives. We have negative 3t equal to 4. So now we're down to our last step. The first step we did was we times by negative 3. So now we are going to divide by negative 3. And then we have 4. We're going to divide by negative 3. So these 3's are going to cancel. And we are just left with t equals negative 4 over 3. I can put my negative on the top. If you get an answer that's a fraction, don't worry, still a number. It's still probably going to be correct. However, if you get something absolutely crazy, like 763 over 1058, you might want to check your answer. That is a 3-step equation. So good luck with those questions, and I'll see you in the next video.